Holding on to the lie. Everyone, folks, as Jordan says, welcome to Werewolf Radar,
Welcome.
the world's most greatest paranormal preparedness podcast. I'm not Jordan, I'm Roger.
And I am Nate Baldwin.
And Jordan is nowhere to be found. He was traveling from the High Plains Comedy Festival, and
I think he's in the time circuits.
he might be in a time loop or time portal thing. There's many novels about it. It could be a situation such as the Bermuda Triangle and all of the mysterious flight anomalies that are known to happen there. It could be like the book and movie The Langoliers. Who knows? He could also just be in Salem's Lot.
Oh boy.
I don't know why he would have gone there, but
crazy
he's his
front
own
vampire
free,
teeth.
Yeah, he's his own free man. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, we here at Werewolf Radio, we don't stop Jordan from pursuing his goals of scratching through fog at the window of his best friend on the second floor.
God, what a horrifying movie. But Nate, tell us who this week is brought to us by. Of course, it's Monstroko, but what's their product?
It is always, as always, Monstroko. They are bringing us, this week we actually have a, this is kind of special. We have a Monstroko brand artist in residence, Chuck Tingle.
Oh.
Who is finally writing the Werewolf Radar book, which, as far as we know, we don't know any of the innards of this thing, but we do know that the title is Werewolf Radar Pounded Me with Monstroko brand sex toys and accidentally opened a portal to the underworld in my ass.
Beautiful, beautiful. Dirty enough to get you going, but not blunt enough to get flagged by anything that would flag such searches.
It's a perfect title.
Anyway, check out the Chuck Tingle Monstroko brand literature collaboration coming next week.
Yeah, as the artist in residence, I assume Chuck Tingle will be writing several of these books. It could be an entire series on his. I don't know.
I think we could. I think each of us would have its own novel.
Yeah, we allow the artist to pursue their pursuits.
All right, Nate. What are we talking about this week? We got Loab, the AI cryptid that is scaring everyone that looks at this thread. You have Devil Games. Would you like to go first? Would I like to go first? Who wants to go first?
Sure, I can spring for first. We've talked about the Ouija board. We've talked about the Midnight Man. We've talked about Bloody Mary. But there are so many more games that you can play that will absolutely end in you dying or going to hell.
Kind of like Dark Souls, but for your life.
Yes. And I feel like we should elucidate on these things so that you can try them if you want. The first one I want to cover, One Man Hide and Go Seek. Say a bit from Thought Catalog. This is another game that has deep roots in a ritual, necromancy to be exact. In this game, you summon a spirit into the body of a doll who then plays hide and seek with you. Seems innocent enough, but think about it. If you're like me, you have a deep-set fear of dolls, mannequins, etc. I don't know what etc. would. I guess dolls and mannequin. Is there another thing?
Dolls.
Just people standing still.
I guess action figures.
Sure, action figures.
Those puppet things from Puppet Master.
Well, that would be dolls.
Okay.
Or I guess
dolls and action figures and mannequins and those are the three.
All right. Anyway, let's get how you summon this entity and what is said to go down after you possibly ruined your life.
Nice.
To do this ritual, you need a doll.
Okay, I have one, I think.
Scissors, or something else sharp. Which already, I think you're two things deep into problematic territory.
Every household is two things deep into problematic territory.
That's true. A red thread and a needle, some rice, hair and or nail clippings from yourself. Never do that. Salt water in a cup, and a bathroom. Here's an important note. You must name the doll. This will not work if you have not named the doll.
I named it
You can't-
Butterstick.
Okay, good, because you cannot give the doll your name.
No, damn it. That was going to be my second one. Roger Federico Felipe Norquist.
Which is your full real name, so you can't do that.
It would mess up my social security.
Once you have everything, go into the bathroom and cut the doll open. Remove the fluff and filling, then restuff it with the rice and clippings. Sew the doll back up with the red thread. Use any remaining thread to tie up the doll. Run a bath filled with water. Put the doll on the sink counter and go to your hiding spot. Place the cup of salt.
Whoa. You didn't mention anything about a hiding spot.
Oh, it's one person hide and seek. Yeah, the doll is supposed to seek you.
Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ. Go on.
Place the cup of salt water and the sharp object on the floor of your hiding spot. So initially, you can kill the doll.
This reminds me of that one game we were playing. It was like Prey or something, or where like there was that doll that walked around and you had to get all the stuff and like stop it.
It was Prey. Yeah, and that lady just kept coming horrifyingly at you, flying around the room.
Pacify. Yeah, there was Pacify, and then there was a doll stage as well. Scary game. Can't play it alone. I hurt.
Once it reaches 3 a.m., tell the doll, and this is where you put your name in. So you would say, Nate, it is 3. Nate, it is. Nate is it. Nate is it. Nate is it. Go into the bathroom, put the doll into the water-filled tub, then turn off all the lights in your house. After you've done that, go to your hiding spot, turn on your TV. So you apparently have to have a hiding spot where you have a television.
What if I don't have a television? What if I'm computer-based?
Then I think you're just going to get fucked here by your doll. Close your eyes, count to 10, then pick up the sharp object and go back into the bathroom. The doll should still be there. If it's not, problem. Say to the doll, I found you, and then you put the doll's name in. You say it 3 times, then you stab the doll with the sharp object.
Nice.
Put it back on the counter and run back to your hiding place. But you do not take the sharp object back after you've stabbed the doll.
Of course, that's the person who's its tool.
Exactly. Now that you're in your hiding spot, remain silent. If anything happens to your TV, flickering images, turning itself off, etc., that means the spirit or the doll is near. After you've been hidden for a bit, it doesn't say how long, you have to take half or as much as you can of the salt water in your mouth, just holding it in there, and then go search for the doll. Bring the rest of the cup of salt water with you. Once you've found the doll, hopefully still in the bathroom, you have to pour the rest of the salt water onto it, spit the water in your mouth onto it, and tell it, I win 3 times. That ends the game.
That's real Sigma behavior. I'm into it.
For real, man. Once the game is ended, dry the doll and burn it. If there are any remains of the doll left, put salt on it and discard it far away. Here's some things to keep in mind during this game. If you have your phone, keep it on Do Not Disturb and have the brightness at its lowest level. Do not use your phone unless you need to call for help. Try to stay as calm and silent as possible.
Like if the doll stabs you.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time to use it to call for help.
Stay as calm and silent as possible, especially if you think it's in the room with you. Natch. Try to keep all the doors unlocked in case you need to run away at any time. This is, of course, an emergency resort. Try not to leave the house during any point during the game. Keep some natural salt with you and line the door to the room you're in. Keep religious tools with you if it makes you feel safe. Try not to hide in any places where you get stuck. And above all, use your common sense. Ask some friends or even neighbors to keep an eye out for anything suspicious while you're doing this game. Tell them the time to expect the lights to come back on, what to do if they haven't heard from you for a while, again, etc. And I know at the beginning it said that it would say what happens that's good if you play this game. Apparently nothing. You just get chased by a doll.
No. If you win, you get to burn what I assume is one of your favorite childhood possessions.
Hopefully.
This is what I think you do when you grow up in witch culture and it's your 13th birthday, like a bar mitzvah or a quinceañera. Like, this is you coming to age in that culture. You have to fight the doll. But it does seem like a ritual to where, like, I don't know, you're wiser. You defeated the doll.
I mean, you at least hid from it for a good hour or so.
And then you went to it, spit on it, and burned it. I assume walked away as the flame grew larger.
It's a slow motion action movie kind of thing happening.
Yeah.
Just toss it. And Bruce Willis your way away from whatever's going on behind you.
Small fire. Once again, it's a doll.
Yeah. The whole house goes up. It's actually quite terrifying. The next one is Dry Bones.
Ooh.
Yeah, this game is very similar to One Man Hide and Go Seek, except you're summoning a demon instead of a wandering spirit.
Kind of one and the same.
Yeah, it seems similar. Also similar to the Midnight Game, so it's time to break out your matches and candles.
Nice. I love these games.
The summoning process for this one is freakishly simple. You begin by turning off all your lights, light your candle, and go into your bathroom or any room with a mirror at 12:01 a.m. You're going to stare at your reflection until you can feel a presence in the mirror. So if you took mushrooms, you're already doing it.
You're halfway there.
Once you know there's something other than yourself in that mirror, you're going to do the dumbest thing known to mankind. You're going to tell the demon, I acknowledge your presence. I welcome you into my home for a game of hide and seek until 3 a.m. Come in now.
Definitely something that we are taught never to do.
Yeah, it's that old adage. After that last word has been spoken, you're going to grab your shit and run. Try to be as quiet as possible while you find your hiding spot. It must be a good hiding spot, as your very life and soul is on the line here. If the demon catches you, I picture your house would look like a real-life Doom level. You may want to have... well, that's their joke. I will not say it.
How bad is it?
You may want to have Doom Guy on speed dial.
The Doom Guy. I remember him.
This is also a recent article. I don't know why
The Doom's been a recent series, but like specifically you, sir, are playing like the old school Doom. Anyway, hit us up on Twitter if you're not playing the old school Doom all the time.
If you miraculously don't get caught by 3 a.m., go to the biggest room in your house and announce that the game has now ended and whatever monstrosity you brought into your home is no longer welcome here and must leave. You'll most likely hear the demon before it leaves, so don't jump when you hear something right behind you.
He's all like, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's like early Phasmo sounds, probably. I suppose I should mention why anyone would play this game. If you win, the demon will grant you a wish. Any realistic thing you want will be yours, material or otherwise. Supposedly it appears right in front of your house. So you can't wish for like peace on earth from a demon, but you can get a PS5.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a way to like get it to where like you could bring a piece on Earth, but like I don't know, Jeff Bezos' bank account number, does that matter? His bank information. No, the
Yeah.
yeah, I guess just PS5. I was trying to think of something great, but that's really the easiest thing. No questions.
I mean, they're rare right now, and most of us don't have one.
They cost 400, but they
They
sell
raised the
for
price.
1,000.
Yeah, it's insane. Here's one. This is the closet game. I heard about this one in a YouTube from Most Amazing Top 10, and it honestly made me question why anyone would want to do this. For this game, all you need is a closet, a match, something to light the match. Basically, you step into your closet with an unlit match, then say the words, "Show me the light or leave me in darkness." You should hear a demon whisper to you, probably something along the lines of, "Surprise, motherfucker." When you hear the whisper, you must immediately light your match and step out of the closet. If you lit it in time and didn't get pulled into hell by a closet demon, you won.
This is some high risk.
That's the whole game.
That's too much. I don't want to play that game. I'm not ready for that shit.
There's no up to it. It's just all possible down.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was trying to be like, no, there's an up because you get to live through the experience, but no, this is just like you either die and don't experience anything but a whisper, or you get dragged to hell.
Those are the only possible outcomes. Or you're just sitting in your closet with, I don't know, like shoes and
Yeah,
suit
nothing
jackets
whispers to
or
you. There's
something.
no demon around. It's all the demons are busy.
You're
Once
just
again,
sad
though,
in a closet.
this does seem like a coming of age ritual. Like this is what I would do if I was 13 and wanted to be spooked. It's kind of a Bloody
Oh,
Mary. Like, what's the point of that
100%.
game other than nothing happens or you get your face ripped off by a bloody woman?
Yeah, you're just daring fate.
Which I mean is pretty cool. That's what that's what it's like riding a motorcycle.
Yeah, it really is, which is not a good thing.
But there's an upside once again to riding a motorcycle. Very fuel
it
efficient.
rules. You look very cool. Yeah, you do get like 100 miles to the gallon. Here's one. This is the thumb game. Now we've jumped over to holodappy.com.
Holodappy. If you're looking for a jingle, we got you.
This is a game that comes from Japan for a group of 3 or more players. Apparently, if you win this game, you get a wish granted. So we've got more wishes. You can just, I guess, build them. On the flip side, if you lose, you could become a homicidal ghost trapped on another plane.
Japan has a lot of these games. I remember a single shot anime that aired on Toonami back in the day about 3 kids who were playing like a masked game of hide and seek in a town or in a tower, and the prize was you got immense power, and if you lost, just don't lose.
I would say that's probably the
but it's
takeaway
3
from
or
all
4
of these
players.
games.
Like it's a multiplayer game.
The story behind this game is that a 20-year-old woman was murdered and dismembered in a villa. Police rounded up all of her body parts except for one. They could not find her left thumb. To play the game, players sit in a circle. Each player grabs the thumb of the person to their right, so you're all holding left thumbs. You all close your eyes and must keep them closed for the whole game.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, you imagine the via very vividly. There's a Japanese chant that transports the group to the via where they must search for the thumb. If you feel any taps on your shoulder at any time, ignore it. Whatever you do, don't turn around. There's a single candle in the room. If you blow it out, it will transport you back to your own dimension, which seems fine. Like you
Yeah, it
should want
seems
to go back to your dimension.
instead of the alternative.
Yeah, turned into a homicidal ghost that lives on this plane of existence. If you find the thumb, however, you blow out the candle and you win and you get your wish.
Nice.
And everyone who doesn't turn around and get turned into a homicidal ghosts, if they don't find the thumb, they just go back. They're just sitting there holding thumb.
As their
However,
friend is now like a super being.
yeah, they go full Ultra Goku.
I mean, that would be my wish. I now realize you don't have
Everyone
to
goes
change the
Super Saiyan.
world. I can change myself.
If someone lets go of your thumb, you lose it. If you open your eyes, if you turn around and you feel a tap, or if you let the candle go out on its own, you're killed. And you're bound to the via where you will tap and kill other players for eternity.
Doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah, I mean, they don't like. I guess if you all picture a pretty nice via, it might just be like Animal Crossing for ghosts. Here's one. This is the bathtub game, also from Japan. The bathtub game is about conjuring the spirit of a young woman who died from falling in the bathtub. Her face hit the rusty old faucet and it took an eye out.
Oh.
You play by stripping naked one night and hopping into a tub full of water with the lights off. Close your eyes. Yep. Close your eyes, wash your hair, repeat a little chant while you visualize the woman in the bathtub slipping and falling to her death.
Can I tell you something? Do you remember the movie Wish Upon?
No.
Okay, so phenomenal movie. It stars Joey King.
All right.
And in there, an old man slips and hits his head on the faucet and dies. Cut to another scene. Some stuff happens. Cut back to it. He wakes up because he's not dead and tries to stand up and then hits his head on the faucet again. And that's how he dies.
That's... I mean,
anyway,
it's ultra violent, but that's hilarious.
It's very hilarious. I think about that all the time. So I'm already thinking about an old person dying in the tub.
This is a young woman, but it's still a Three Stooges situation. The eye pops out, flies into your mouth or something stupid like that.
And that's how I die.
Yeah. Anyway, if you do this right, you're supposed to feel movement in the water behind you. Supposedly, she's there with her rotting, tattered clothes, her stringing hair, and a gaping, oozing hole where her right eye once was. You sense and feel her. Don't open your eyes or she'll kill you right there. Keeping your eyes firmly shut and try to climb out of the tub and make your way out of the bathroom. Don't worry about the water. You're supposed to leave it overnight. Shut the door behind you, go to your room, and go to sleep. The next day, the one-eyed ghost woman will follow you wherever you go. You'll feel her presence and catch glimpses of her if you look over your right shoulder. She keeps getting closer, but never quite close enough to touch.
Okay.
So you're just, you summon this lady, and if she doesn't kill you, she follows you around, but kind of just in a way it's like trying to wave at you from across the street.
But why?
For absolutely no reason, I guess.
Like the other ones had no, like, if you don't get dragged to hell, nothing else happens.
I mean, she'll kill you if you open your eyes while you're in the tub.
Sure. But all the other ones, nothing happens really after this. So this one's all like, oh yeah, and you're gonna have nightmares during the day now.
Right. Well, there is an eventual end to this. So she'll follow you, and you have to, before midnight the next day, end the game by yelling, "I cut you loose," and doing, this article says, doing a karate chop motion in front of her. I don't feel like that's probably necessary.
I think it is because
Uh,
you're cutting the spiritual.
I mean, couldn't you do anything though? You could do scissors, you could do gooba.
Fair enough. If you believe in the movement, I think it's allowed.
Yeah. And if you don't, she haunts your dreams and follows you for life, eventually catching you. And that's when you die.
Ooh.
Now, I do also, this is another thing. This is more yokai related. And this has come up before, but
Yokai games now.
Hanako-san, the toilet girl. According to legend, Hanako-san is the spirit of a young girl who haunts school toilets and is described as a yokai. The details of her physical appearance vary across different sources, but she's commonly described as having a bobbed haircut and wearing a red skirt or dress. The details of Hanako-san's origins vary depending on the account. In some versions, she was a child who was murdered by a stranger or an abusive parent in a school toilet. In other versions, she's a schoolgirl who commits suicide. In other versions still, she's a child who lived during World War II and was killed in an air raid. I think this is actually the most common one. Killed in an air raid while hiding in the school toilet during a game of hide and seek.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. What are you going to do? I'm not going to lose.
Summon Hanako-san. It is often said that individuals must enter a girl's toilet, usually on the third floor of a school. Knock 3 times on the third stall and ask if Hanako-san is present. If Hanako-san is there, she'll reply with some variation of "yes, I am." Depending on the story, the individual may then witness the appearance of a bloody or ghostly hand. The hand, or Hanako-san herself, may pull the individual into the toilet, which may lead to hell. Or you might be eaten by a 3-headed lizard who claims that the individual was invading Hanako's privacy.
I love other cultures' myths. They blow my mind. Where'd the 3-headed lizard come from?
No idea. But it's the privacy lizard, and don't fuck with it, apparently. I did want to do this one too. This was so there's apparently a jump roping game you can do. There's a headless jump roping girl that you can summon wherever you are. This is free country as long as you have a basement and a jump rope.
Once again, every household is 2 steps already into a devil game.
This is also a first person. When my best friend Savannah and I were younger, we shared a terrifying experience. This was many years ago, but we both can so vividly remember it due to the pure fear we felt. I can still recall little gory details. The 2 of us were upstairs in my bedroom playing with our little walkie-talkies. There was a window facing the street. We liked to look out at the stars and street lamps at night as we talked. This night was no different at first. My driveway and my neighbor's driveway was visible from our position. There was something out of place to the right of us, outside in my neighbor's driveway. Clear as day, we could see a little girl jump roping. Savannah and I both went silent. I think we noticed it at the same time. The little girl was missing her head. And no, someone wasn't just hiding their head. There was very clearly a neck that just stopped where the head should be, and there was only blood.
Oh. Like squirting out every time she jumped or
Probably.
hit the ground.
I mean, you're pumping that hard. We watched her hypnotized for a little over a minute. It felt like a lifetime. I can recall little details about her to this day. She was wearing a light-colored dress and flat shoes. The clothes were outdated, nothing from our time period. Being as young as we were, we screamed and ran downstairs as fast as our legs would carry. We left the walkie-talkies behind. My elder brother was right downstairs playing some sort of video game, and my parents were talking in the kitchen. So this is like people are around and they're seeing this. I was crying. My best friend was crying. And as we tried to tell him what we saw, with a quick look out the screen door, we got one last brief glimpse of the girl. At the time, my elder brother thought we made the whole thing up. Since then, he's had plenty of paranormal experiences. We still talk about it.
Wow.
So this is related to a game you can play if you have a jump rope and a basement. Apparently, there's a game, it's the jump rope game. You can go into your basement at midnight or 3 a.m. I've seen different things. It's either a midnight or witching hour. And start jumping rope. And you have to call out, Layla, Layla, come to me. Apparently this headless girl's named Layla. And supposedly she will appear to you, skipping rope, fully headless, and just hangs out, I guess. There seems to be no end game to it.
You're looking for a new friend?
Yeah, she's just there scaring your dogs.
Scaring me a little bit.
But yeah, that's those are some games you can play this fall to scare the shit out of you and your friends.
Oh my goodness. What some of those gave me such goosebumps. That last one as well, to where I don't know what it is, but if you have your wound open and pumping blood, I don't enjoy it.
Well, I mean, also just I picture the rope going over the neck real close, and for some reason that's really freaky.
I was trying to figure out how it would happen. That's the way. That's the
Maybe
way.
like double jumping Rocky style. This ghost is fucking ripped.
Oh my, that's yeah, no, from now on, the little girl is just ripped like Rocky, training for the next fight. All right, let me hold the speaking skull for right now because we're going into some AI horror. Not sure if you all saw this. I shared this on our Twitter. So check that out. It is a thread from Super Composite, and it's titled, I discovered this woman who I call Loab in April.
Dude, this thing is so fucking crazy.
The AI reproduced her more easily than most celebrities. Her presence is persistent, and she haunts every image she touches. Take a seat. This is a horror story and veers sharply macabre. So if you haven't seen all the hubbub about AI art, we here use it at Werewolf Radar. That way we don't have to put Jordan through, I guess, crazy work. Yeah, too much.
Yeah.
And you just put in a writing prompt, such as Werewolf Radar, 3D rendering of the
Pounded
Werewolf
me with
Radar.
Monstroko brand sex toys and accidentally opened a portal to the underworld in my ass.
Yes. Go and it will give you images. There's Crayon, there's Dolly, there's Open Mind, there's Mind something. There's a bunch of them. All of them can produce some phenomenal work. Some people are using it to win art contests, which I don't know how I feel about that.
No,
I feel you should be able to just you need to do the work.
Yeah, no. If it's a contest and a computer does it, unless you built that computer out of scraps or something and then programmed it entirely, I feel like you did not create anything.
Yes. But it's great for you making crazy images such as what we've done with Piss Christ and vampire eating a ice cream cone.
On Surf Squatch.
Oh yeah, Surf Squatch was a fun one too. Anyway, there's great things happening with AI technology that isn't them taking over. So let's go into it. From Super Composite, I'll explain negative prompt weights in case you don't know. With these, instead of creating an image of a text prompt, the AI tries to make the image look as different from the prompt as possible. This logo was the result of a negative weighted prompt, Brando -1. And I will share this screen. So check out our YouTube so you can see such things. This is from that prompt, Brando -1. It is a kind of a marketing skyline that says Digita Panikic or Pinix. Pintix.
Yeah, but it's also surrounded by this weird, like, almost fleshy looking thing.
It's like wood becoming something else.
Yeah.
So the AI, if you go to a number of really nice AI art prompts, like you can get some phenomenal images. Also, if you know what you're doing with some of it. And then in the next post, we have this horror that the world now calls Loab. And she can be described kind of as a brunetted woman with very sunken, if not hollow-eyed, no eyes at all,
They're deep
very
set.
rosy rosacea. Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Cheeks.
Fucking hatchet cutters.
I wondered, and this is super composite, I wondered, is the opposite of that logo in turn going to be a picture of Marlon Brando? The answer is no. I typed Digita Pintix Skyline logo -1 as a prompt and received these off-putting images of the same devastated looking older woman with defined triangles of rosacea on her cheeks. There's one of them of a woman described as such with what may be a baby in a bathtub. There's one of the same woman kind of like in a magazine cover with Loab as the only discernible word in most languages or most cultures. There's one of like a doll version of her in like a liminal space freight.
Candle on her head or over her head, maybe.
And then there's one of her that looks somewhat...
That looks like Lauren Boebert.
Yes, but like a hard-working Lauren Boebert who just wants to be done with the warehouse work she's doing. So that's Loab right there, and the pictures are somewhat horrifying. You can see them anyway. Just type in Loab, and that is Loab.
Isn't her name probably Digita Pentix?
I think it just used the words and then made new words, which some prompts do.
But demons usually have multiple names.
Fair. A friend of Super Composite made this image of a Loab hyper compressed glass tunnel surrounded by angels, Loab in the style Wes Anderson. And I recently combined this image with the original image of Loab in an image prompt without text. For some reasons, can't fully explain, nightmares ensued. And it is just such an offsetting photo of this person that the that the AI artist and the program they use can recreate consistently. And here we go into content warning, violence and sensitive content.
Yeah, they're not recreating it. Loab is there.
Through some kind of emergent statistical accident, something about this woman is adjacent to extremely gory and macabre imagery in the distribution of the AI's word knowledge. Since Loab was discovered using negative prompt weights, her gestalt is made from a collection of traits that are equally far away from something, but her combined traits are still cohesive concept for the AI, and most all decent images contain a recognizable Loab. And that's something you can see on all of these. Here's a quick flash of this horror. here's this one. But
Loab
even with
has
it being varied,
kids.
it's still the same lobe that we know of. This next one I can't show on the YouTube, so I'm going to stop sharing right here. But
Can we
please go
not?
to it with us. Extreme gore warning. The Angel
All right.
Hallway and Loab also produced art with such copious gore that probably few people want to see them. But here are two. And it is basically two lobes, both covered in a lot of blood and staring at the camera. And then the second one is like a child lobe. It's the same like hair on both of them, covered in blood. I believe a knife. Nope, just a weird image in the back. But it's then holding a head of like another child lobe over a sink. And now we can return without getting our channel flagged.
They're pretty brutal.
There is something moving to me about these grotesque scenes and the desperation, panic, and sadness that they convey. Again, these are produced with other images as inputs and no text. So basically, if you put an image into there, you can get variations. But normally the variations are going to have the same background, a few other things. So it's insane that using
Loab seems to have gone rogue.
Yes. And of course, they're using crossbreeding techniques in AI art, which is when you kind of combine two photos, but it's insane for it to have this much consistency, gore, and macabre. Now we start getting to another one that is a little bit much. These images are a result from crossing Loab with other images, can in turn be crossbred with other images. The AI can latch onto the idea of Loab so well that she can persist through generations of this type of crossbreeding. So technically, like in cloning, in genetics, if you keep cloning from the mother, it gets deteriorated to the point, or from the next line,
right.
You start losing information.
Yeah. But
Loab seems to persist. Here's another doll, which is recognizable as Loab. This next one,
I do like
similar.
The Loab is, fully on board with LGBTQ people.
Plus, even when her red cheeks and other important features disappear, the Loabness of the image she has a hand in making is undeniable. Here's another one to where it is a statue, no cheek rosacea, but it still has the same like face, same structure of face, same eyes, like swollen over fleshy, like tumorish eyes.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like one of her eyes has a film over it.
Combining Loab with text prompts work great too. Her signature rosacea cheeks even turn blue when I prompt for a Navi version of her from Avatar 2, The Way of Water.
Wait, they've seen Avatar 2?
The Wave of Water. The Way of Water. I apologize. I started going kind of insane at this point. This is from September 6th. All of this happened in the past week. That Super Composite kind of went public with this and went, so I've been living a weird time since April. Has anyone else?
This lady's been in my closet the whole time.
I had hundreds of...
You've been experiencing a heat wave.
I've had hundreds of Loab images and was starting to combine her with 3 or 4 other images at once. Most of the horror images I post, even outside of this thread, are descendants of the Loab lineage. Sometimes it takes more abstract forms. Here we see very abstract forms of Loab, kind of like a robot Loab. And then a Loab kind of looking through a keyhole or a peephole in a door. The concept of Loabness became more abstract to me. This person's gone fully insane as well. The concept of Loebness became more abstract to me. I would include her in prompts that I knew would almost distort her beyond recognition. After she disappeared from the image breeding lineage, she would sometimes reappear later down the line out of nowhere. And this one, I mean, it's abstract, but I see some Loebness.
I
It's
mean,
kind of like a David
it's
Cronenberg
yeah,
type
that's what I
creature.
was thinking.
Multiple eyes everywhere, but you see the flesh very lumpy and like old, eyes sunken, rosacea on a lot of it.
It feels chalky.
I was
Like if
ripping
you
Loeb
touched it, it would just fall apart.
Yes, I was ripping Loeb apart and putting her back together. She is an emergent island in the latent space that we don't know how to locate within text queries. But for the AI, Loeb was an equally strong point of convergence as a verbal concept, and it was unusually stronger. Here's more abstract Loebness, kind of a cinephile type or centophile. What's it called in Hellraiser?
Cenobite, I think, is what you're
Cenobite
looking for. Yeah, yeah.
version
Cinephile would
of
just be
Loeb.
a person who enjoys those movies.
A big lesson for me here with Loeb is that image prompting can essentially be used as your custom vector to query the latent space. You can produce novel styles and characters that you literally discover. Negative prompt weighting can help you find emergent accidents too. So this person went so deep into it. Here's some more images of Loeb. And
Boy, it's so nuts.
an Apex Legend version of Loeb. And then here's where things take off. Super Composite posted this on September 6th. And now it's kind of like taken the internet by storm. People believing that this is truly a AI art cryptid that just kind of broke onto the scene and is here to stay, maybe. Once again, Loeb is an LGBTQ plus icon.
Yep. Did you ever read William Gibson's Idoru?
I have not.
Well, I in that there's an AI concept that becomes a superstar that is trying to make herself real through a replicator, basically, like a 3D printer.
It is.
And I feel like we're hedging on that right now with Loeb.
It is weird. You're also finding this now because of how the internet works. In especially on like Tumblr, you can say prompts to where you will go, I would buy that if it was on a t-shirt, and the bots on Tumblr will then steal said image and start selling that on a t-shirt.
Teespring will immediately become your best friend.
So you can get Loeb t-shirts, which is fucking insane, and a few other things. But I think
have we done Loeb Werewolf Radar on Dolly?
So here's kind of something that is weird. Loeb is kind of disappearing from the internet. Over the past few days, Loeb has not been able to be recreated.
Well, let's make her back.
Using prompts. You can use one of our favorites, Crayon. And I'm going to do it right now, see if anything happens.
Let's bring Loeb. Let's bring Loeb.
Don't say it 3 more times. It's a Candyman situation. You got to say it 5 times. But Loeb and a lot of AI creators has disappeared, leaving only the original images and the series of them from September 6th and on, and the ones from Super Composite. So wherever Loeb is now, she is gone from the AI generator that she came from, and not on Dolly, and not in crayon from what I'm seeing right now, but we're still waiting. It should not take long,
Yeah.
up to 2 minutes.
Because Loeb's out there walking around.
So
She
what
got
happened to
made.
this? Why can the prompt not be found anymore? Why can it not be recreated in variations? Was it a genetic thing that left and is now no longer to be recreated? Did it gain sentient? I have so many questions why this can't be created again using the same prompts. Answer me, Nate. Solve the mysteries of the world quickly.
I mean, it's like I said, I think she's out there. I think she got out.
So anyway,
This
have a
is,
new nightmare, everyone. I guess is the ending of this episode.
Well,
you had
and
Slender Man, you had Siren Head, you had just
I forgot
normal.
about Siren Head.
You just have normal killers, you know, the one that Wendy Williams was always talking about, the killer. They're still out there.
And now you've got Loeb, and Loeb is in your home currently.
If AI, and what if this was something that AI can create is another question. Like man created God, can AI create horror?
Yeah, I've seen Lawnmower Man 2.
It's a good film. It is a good film. Well, let's wrap this episode up, I guess. We talked about devil games. We talked about the new AI horror called Loeb that vanished as quickly as she came to prominence.
Which is kind of mind-blowing. Like, even if it's a weird prank, it's great. I love it. But the fact that it's gone away as fast as it showed up doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense.
It seems like something that at least Twitter should have glommed onto.
Did the AI creating it understand what it did and had to put it to bed?
I think so.
Oh, so many horrors. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this episode. Jordan, if you get out of your situation, let us know. Take your time, of course. You know, get out safely. Don't put yourself and others at risk. Also, before we wrap up, the 14th
Flea Loab.
Free Loab. If you don't know, the 14 Film Festival happened and winners have been announced. We judged them harshly, but some got through. And we like to say we chose the good ones. Wedding 93 award winner.
Huge.
I'm trying to see what else we voted harshly and it won. I mean, all these are good. Neon Atlantis. There was a green light.
5-starred everything.
So check that out, 14filmfestival.com. Also, just hit us up on Twitter. It's where we're mainly active. Say hello to us. Share paranormal stuff with us that you see. A lot of you are doing that. We love it. It helps us talk about what you want us to talk about. And if you really like what we do, think about supporting us on patreon.com/werewolf radar, where you can become a Dark Council member and get great paranormal extras such as merch drawn by Jordan, fiction written by me, Grave Nuggets exclusively researched and curated by the Nate Balding himself. And it only takes $5 a month. Think about it. It helps pay the hosting fees, plus other stuff that may or may not happen, such as broken microphones or computer parts. There's a lot that goes into making a podcast, and our Dark Council members take care of that for us.
You do. You are the wind beneath our wings.
You let us soar into the night like the bats we are. If that's how bats work?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
Now, thermodynamic situation.
Now, everyone with us together, our secret sign-off line for everyone who listens. All the pingos out there. I guess public sign-off line on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe.